How can quality increase in an institution without somebody going out or somebody coming into the institution? Even today, quality is the most private, undiscussed material in the college. And this is primarily because we teachers don't share. Tell me, and you think about yourself, forget others. How many teachers share that how I taught today? What was the difference that different thing that I did in the classroom? I will talk about saris, I will talk about where I had been, I will talk about what I have purchased. I will not talk about what has been discussed in the classroom. Teaching is a very private business between the teacher and the students. We don't like our students from first year talking to the second year, or first division talking to the second division. We may not say anything, but we don't like it. There is a saying in biology, in cell biology. The property of the cell is the property of the individual. We are all made up of cells. The property of the teacher is the property of the institution. We don't share, so we don't get anything. We don't get anything new. We don't share anything new, so we don't get anything new. And this is where documentation starts playing a big role. Because we don't share, we don't get anything. Because we don't get anything, so our reports are very poor. Because our reports are very poor, therefore our grades are not good. Because we don't document properly, therefore we lose. Believe me, there is no college in India. I don't know Bihar, UP. There is no college in India that does not do activities for the students. Even then, there are colleges with C grades, C plus grades. There are colleges with B grades. That is primarily because our documentation is bad. And which documentation is bad? The documentation given by the teachers is very bad. And why it is bad? Because we are not taught how to document. And we don't learn how to document. And therefore, documentation plays a very important. If there are 50 people in an institution, our responsibility is 1 by 50. If it is 1 by 50, it would mean that anything that you do that needs to be documented. A few years ago, that is in 2012 maybe, I started with a teacher's diary. Now everybody follows it. And the minute I started with the teacher's diary, there was a big uproar. So what to write in that diary? I said, whatever you do, you write down. At the end of the first month, when I tried to see the diaries, which they did not like, lecture taken, SYBCom. I said, at what time, what date, when, how? He said, you mean to say you want to write down the timetable period also? I said, yes. You mean to say you have to write down the topic also that I teach? I said, yes. You mean to say you have to write down the number of students who are present? That also you have to write? I said, yes. And as to the things started percolating into the institution, at the end of the year, what I could find is the teacher started writing down every small thing. I guided the students. I guided these students. Here quality starts setting in. So documentation plays a very big important role. When I did not know anything about documentation, I used to go to those seminars, just as Dr. Leena Gavhane madam had come over here. That time those physical seminars I used to, webinars I used to go, seminars I used to go, or workshops I used to go, and I used to say, Dr. Hegde was there. He was a very good gentleman. I used to ask him, sir, how to do documentation? He said, this is very foolish question. And when we created a method of documentation, that time I understood that the entire nation needs it. Our grades are falling only because we don't document. Our grades are falling only because we don't do it in time. And therefore, let us try to see what documentation is. I expect you to ask me 10,000 questions. I wish I should not be called here again. I should not be able to answer your questions. With this small brief, we are going to go with the presentation. This presentation is going to be, the first part is a small presentation and then is a hands-on exercise on document. You have already received some files, soft copy. I want you to have it in a hard form. I want all those 4 or 5 papers to be printed because we are going to fill them. Some of them are going to be filled up. Some of them are going to be studied over there. You are going to do it. I want you to do it. I want you to celebrate by understanding the role of a teacher in documentation. If that basic document is ready, is done fantastically, writing a NAAC report is very easy task. Anybody can do it. Even an administrative officer can do it, in the college can do it. So let us look into this small presentation on documentation, and then we are actually going to create a document. You are going to create a document, not we. So with this brief introduction, let me start with the presentation. I'm sure you're all able to see the presentation over here. The art of preserving work is documentation. This is Piyush Pahade from HVSI College, Pune, President IQAC Cluster, and we'll also be talking about IQAC Cluster in a short while. What is documentation? Please see this. This is what I feel. Documentation is the love letter you write to your future. A love letter to your future. If you are good today, you will love it tomorrow. If you are not good today, you will not understand anything what you have written down tomorrow. Future plays a very important role. And then we are all teachers, and so if they are, what is the definition of a documentation? So this is not my definition, this is from the internet. Documentation is defined as the process of classifying and annotating text and related materials. The material provides official information or evidence as record. Classical definition. Once you read that, you should get scared of it. This is what it is. But let us try to understand how is our technique of definition of documentation. I call it bad documentation techniques. How we have nurtured them. There are some bad documentation techniques. I have tried to make a list of it. All of you must be able to see it. Number 1, the best method of bad documentation is no documentation. I have not documented, so there is no problem. Then there is a big concept called as the tomorrow concept, aaj nahi kal. Today I have done the activity, but we'll write it tomorrow, and the tomorrow doesn't come. So there is no documentation. And then there are some senior teachers, big bosses. They make a mention saying that documentation. Why me? I am a senior teacher. I'm a professor now. It's not my job. Somebody else can do it. We have taken these junior teachers, what work to give them? Give them the documentation. And then there are somebody who says, actually, you have asked for documentation, take this paper. Data incorrectness. When was it conducted? Don't know. How was it conducted? Don't know. Why was it conducted? Don't know. You have conducted an activity, you have taken signatures, but you have not written down the date. Then you write down some date. Then in the report, you write down something else. There is one more method. I'll give you, but I will not sign, Baba. No, 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 no. Sign. I've done the activity, but I will not sign. No signature, no accountabilities. Illogical proofs. I recollect one very fantastic event that I would like to share. I was the NAAC coordinator in 2012 in my college. And a lady teacher, a very senior teacher, she came to me and said, "Sir, take this." I took the paper, it was a small paper. I asked, "What is this?" "This is a rickshaw bill." I said, "Of what?" "Last year, in the last academic year, I had conducted a flower show." I said, "Okay." That time colleges had refused me these 40 rupees. I said, "So it is that rickshaw bill which I was refused. Now you have to give me that money." Illogical proof. Distortion of facts, yet another aspect. Then comes storage. In this computer, if you keep it with the wrong name, you may search it for lifetime, you will not find it. So keeping the documents in a wrong name, preserving it, a bad preservation, you're able to see the picture. Files are preserved miserably. Keeping it in a wrong location, using technology without knowledge, and doing something to do something, that is jugaad concept in the North India as it is called as. These are the ways by which we don't go for documentation. We very often speak about, see how best the West is working. We send our children to learn, study over there. But how did they become brands? They became brands because they kept documentation properly. Because we don't document, we are not becoming a brand. And therefore, documentation plays a very important role. And so, why is it that we avoid documentation? Because nahi rakhna hai yaar. We are extremely chalu people. We are excellent documenters. By the way, let me stop for a while and let me tell you something. We are excellent documenters. Excellent. We don't apply it to the college. If I ask you, do you have your 10th passing certificate? I say, हाँ वो तो है हमारे पास. We have this. See this. I had got fantastic marks. Do you have your 12th passing? Are yes, I have. Do you have your graduation certificate? How can I get a job without it, yaar? I have my mark list. I have my graduation certificate. Do you have your post-graduation certificate? Oh yes, my PhD also. All my research papers are kept very properly with me. Your property papers? I keep it in the locker. The bills of gold that you have purchased, every bill is maintained. क्या पता income tax कभी आ जाए? We don't know. And now I ask you, the activity that you conducted in the college, do you have the document? I did not keep it. Ilya? No. Not my job. So you're able to see over here that we are responsible for what we want to. We are not responsible for what we are being paid. And therefore, you're able to see over here that, just 1 minute, we go with the presentation again. Negligence in keeping it, least interest in creating it, updating it, maintaining it, sorry. Not being aware of ये कहाँ लगने वाला है, where it is going to be used, we don't know. Not keeping the document in a secured place. No security of the document, so it gets lost. Laziness, don't know technology, not knowing the methodology of creating a document, and scare about document, taboo about documentation. These are the reasons for avoiding documentation. But what does a document do? Let's try to understand this. It records the past. It tells us about the current situation. Last year, how many admissions had taken place in the first 15 days? If I have the data, I have the analysis. If I don't have the data, I don't know how many had taken place. At the end, there were so many. It predicts the future, it plans the tomorrow, it creates a system, it regulates inadequacies, it's a guarantee of availability of resources all the time, because our documentation is for our analysis. Why should we document? So that we analyze. Last year, how many lectures were required to complete the portion? Year before that, how many lectures were needed for completion of the portion? Which topic took how much of time? If you have the data, you can analyze it. If you don't have the data, Allah bhi kashti or Miya bhi kashti. And therefore, documentation plays a very important role. Documentation is not for the college. Documentation is for you to understand yourself. It tells us about what, but it also tells us what not. And documentation is therefore the heart of the organization. Documentation is important because it is the advertisement of your work. If you have done the work fantastically, your paper speaks. If you are an IQAC coordinator, your office does not read mind. Your paper speaks. They can read a paper and they can understand. You cannot say, I thought you will do it. You said, I did not think that you are thinking like this. By doing a document, it cuts down the operational ambiguity. It becomes an excellent training material. It is a great tool for analysis. It helps us to keep our best practices and update our best practices continuously. It helps us to track our improvements in a better way. College gets more money because of good documentation. And good documentation shows that you're a good professional organization. You're a good individual. And therefore, documentation is important. Let me share something with you. Dr. Badrunisa madam is over here. I wish to tell you a small story that she has experienced. She is working with one of the institutions called Krupanidhi Group of Institutions in Bengaluru. When this lady had joined, the institution was into losses. Thank you, Badrunisa madam, you're on the screen. Institutions don't take people on for quality department. She was taken in quality department. She is the head of quality department. She is associated with 5 institutions. The Krupanidhi Group of Colleges has 5 institutions. The institution wasn't a profit-making institution, despite a lot of money being pumped into the institution. And then documentation began, and the analysis of documents began. This is the story that she has told me. And slowly, the loss-making institutions slowly started becoming a self-sustaining institutions to the extent that they became profit-making institutions. The teachers could be paid well. Good teachers could be maintained. They could be given good advantages. The institution started getting good grades in NAAC. They started going for NIRF. So document speaks. Document helps you to make money. If institution makes money, you make money. If institution does not make money, you don't make money. You may say it's a government organization, makes no difference to me. It makes a difference because money does not come from the government. When all the institutions are not making any any effort. Private institutions need money only. They work on what they earn. So deliberately, I've tried to tell you a success story. It's over here. It's not written down anywhere, but I wish it gets written down. Where documentation speaks, as these documents start coming into place, we start eliminating out those small things which cost us the most. And it starts making the institution a habit of winning. And therefore, documentation plays a very important role. So, with this very small story that I wanted to tell you, now let us actually go to what documentation is. So, let us look into something more. Now, documentation may not be done all alone, it may be done with the colleagues also. And documentation is there at multiple levels depending on with whom you are going to work. Personal level of documentation. Now, what is personal level of documentation? This college has invited me, it has given me a letter, it will be giving me a thanks letter also. This invitation may be useful to me, is useful to me, may be useful, beneficial to my college, or it may not be beneficial to my college. That's a personal level of documentation. A research paper that is written by the teacher is beneficial to the teacher, definitely, no doubt about it, but it's also being beneficial to the institution. It's still a personal level of documentation. When you're working in the college and when you're doing some activity in the college for your students, it's an individual level of documentation which you are doing for your college. Personal was for yourself. You conducted an activity with the students, you went for some, let us say, cleaning program, you did that, you did it all alone with your 25 students. All the documentation that you have done it all alone. That is individual level of documentation. An activity has been conducted by the department. Let us say we have a program called as Zoo Vision. All the three teachers in the department work together for the Zoo Vision program. That time it's the departmental level of documentation. Who's going to do the what, how the flyer is going to be hosted, how it is going to reach the students, who students have come, who have participated in all those activities. All that would come as a departmental level of activity. When our science faculty is working together for a national level webinar seminar, at that time it is faculty level. Every college has multiple committees, so different people come together and do the documentation, do the activity, do the documentation. And today, for example, that you are able to see, Rajapalayam Rajus College is conducting this particular webinar. It's a college level activity. Multiple people would be giving their reports and the final report would get ready. This is called as documenting with colleagues. This plays a very, very important role for the purpose of documentation. But I'm talking about individual. Most of the document that we prepare go for NAAC, and therefore, how does NAAC see our documents? NAAC is a style of working. Level 1 is information. NAAC says how many students, number. You say 52 students. 52 students. Who are those 52 students? That comes in the data sheet, that is in the Excel sheet that NAAC has given. So you write down the names of 52 students. That is data. The number 52 matches with the 52 names. So 52 is the number, 52 names, class, division, whatever that data comes in. And then what is the proof that they were present over there? Data is not the proof. The students were there for that activity. They have signed on the attendance that they were present. That the attendance has the details of the activity. The 52 students have signed that document. They have written down their roll number. They have written down their name. They have given their signature. This document has been signed by the coordinator of the activity. Photos have been taken. These are geotagged photos of that event. Then it becomes a document. That is a proof. So NAAC will always be checking up as information, data, and proofs. And then in DVV, sometimes NAAC asks a question whether it is 52 or it is 50. Then we start checking out, and then we come to know. We have given 52 names, but in the list which is signed, there are 2 students who have signed double. So we have given 52 names, but actually they are only 50. So DVV catch, the students are caught in the NAAC checks in this way. So information, data, and proofs. And all this data majoritarily goes with the teachers, and therefore now let us try to see how an accountable documentation will be. How will we be accountable in this particular case? Now I have given you some sheets. We are actually going to work out with these sheets right now. Please come with document number 1. Now I'll show you the document over here. If you don't have that document right now, have a pen and pencil at least, and we will be working with that particular document. I am sure all of you are able to see this particular document now. Think that you have created you have done one activity. Right? You have done an activity. It could be a visit, it could be a guest lecture, it could be something. All those who have this particular sheet, who have taken the print of this sheet, please take a pen and this particular sheet. We are actually going to create a document right now. You have conducted an activity this year. Let us fill up this activity form. If you don't have this form, it's okay. Take a notebook, take a pen or a paper and a pen, and you will be writing down, you will be following me. See, either the activity is conducted for a department or for a committee. So write down the name of the department or name of the committee. Please write down. You're going to write it down. Huh? I want you to write down. Let it be on a piece of paper, but you please write down. Now you're able to see IQAC document number. Please don't do anything over there. That IQAC is going to do. How to do that? That also I'll tell you. Then comes the name of the activity. What is the name of the activity? It may be a guest lecture. It may be a visit. It may be some kind of a teaching different method that you have used. It could be a tour. It could be a cleaning program. It could be a gender-based activity. Write down the name of the activity. Fine? Now, name of the coordinator. That is your name. You have conducted the activity. Please write down your name. On what day and date was that activity conducted? On what day and date was that activity conducted? 14th of December, 10:30 to 12:30, for example. Day is Wednesday, 14 December. नहीं होगी कोई activity. No, if you don't remember any activity, write down today's date. It's okay. It's a dummy data that we are creating. What place was it where you conducted that activity? So venue. Then at what time was it conducted? 10:30 to 12:30. Conference hall. Rajapalayam Rajus College. How many participants were present for this particular activity? How many participants were present? 102 participants were present for this particular activity. Whether it was outdoor or indoor, it was very indoor. Now it is online also, or it could be online. It's an online activity. What is the type of activity that it is? It's an academic activity, whether it's an extension activity, whether it's a student progression activity, whether it's a student support activity, whether it's an environment activity, it's a gender activity, it is celebration of days, it is enrichment, anything else. Normally, these are the headings under which NAAC asks. So tick mark it. Whether it was a scheduled activity or it was an unscheduled activity, it could mean that the college has an academic calendar into which this activity has been registered and so it is being conducted. Then it's a scheduled activity. Or maybe it was not a scheduled activity, it was thought that minute, so it's an unscheduled activity. Then who gave you that important thing called money? Whether it was self-sponsored, that is the institution gave. Whether it was sponsored by NAAC, for example, in the current case. Maybe it's an NGO sponsoring you, maybe it's an industry sponsoring you, maybe it's an exchange program, maybe it is something else. So if there is a funding source, tick mark it. What is that amount that you got? 30,000 rupees amount. Who was the chief guest that he was invited? His name, her name. These are the very raw, very basic details that you must give. Without this, NAAC cannot work. Now, brief information about the activity. If you know the criteria, you can write down the criteria. At the end, here I have given you the criteria. See, criteria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of which one is it? Whether it is student support and progression. It's a soft skills activity. It goes with 5. It's a teaching learning activity. Goes with 2. It's a research activity. It's an extension activity. With the community, it goes in 3. Something like this that comes in. So now you are able to see. If you know the criterion, please put it, or you can ask the IQAC coordinator and he or she will be happy to help you out in that. Now, what is the topic of the activity? Please write down the topic of the activity. What was the objective of conducting this activity? क्या सोच थी? What was the thought? Why I should conduct this activity? Why my students should get that exposure? What is the reason that this student must get this exposure? How did you conduct it? Methodology. It was a guest lecture, it was a visit, it was a to-do activity, it was an hands-on activity, it was a survey, it was a course, it was a seminar, it was a webinar, it was a workshop, whatever it is. Methodology. And what were the outcomes of this particular activity? The students became aware about the environment. The students interacted with the community to understand why garbage is being thrown at even clean places. They are the outcomes that would come in. Please fill this. I'll give you 1 minute. Right. This sheet is the index sheet of the proofs that you're going to give. So this is going to come on the top, below which are going to come the proofs. In other words, this is the briefest possible report that is being written down. After 3 years, after 5 years, our IQAC coordinator is going to sit and write down the NAAC report and is going to see this document. He'll say, "Arey, who has given this year? Pata nahi. It does not have the date, it does not have the number, it does not have the student number, it does not tell you." All this gets eliminated in the very first sheet. He or she is able to read it. Forget he and she. We also, after 3 years, may not be able to recollect what we had done. So, this paper will give us all the basic information that we had done that time. that time. Now, what are the proofs that are going to come with that activity? Notice signed by the teacher, the head of the department, the principal. Very important student participation list with signatures, activity report, geotagged photos, extremely important a feedback form and a feedback analysis. No activity is to be done without a feedback. These are all extremely important proofs. Maybe a news clip. Maybe you have given a certificate for the activity. Any other proof that is there, you can list it down. You have to tick mark these proofs. Normally, these are the ones. There can be some others. You can write down that. Maybe a feedback letter from the community, if we have done it for the community. Now, we come to IQAC. How will IQAC document this activity? IQAC will give a number. Every document will come with a number. When you number the document, things become very easy. For example, I have conducted this activity. It is my first activity. It's the first activity of the college that IQAC has received. So, you're able to see over here, number 1. Oblique, PMP is PM Pahade, that is my name. Oblique, which department this gentleman belongs to? It is zoo department. Which year is it? 20 to 23. So you're able to see IQAC has numbered it as 1 oblique PMP oblique zoo oblique 20 to 23. Now in which criteria is it? It is in, let us say, criteria 3. You may write down the metric number, you may not write down the metric number, it's not important. Where did you keep it? So it comes with a departmental file number. It comes with a departmental file number. So department has kept that document in its file in, let us say, 1 oblique zoo oblique 20 to 23 in file number 1 or in file number 5. So departmental file should be named, should be labeled, and that must be written down over here so that finding the document becomes very easy. Furthermore, where has IQAC kept this document? So IQAC will also put it in its file. I hope you're getting me, so that we don't lose on the document. And then, of course, who has prepared the document? Name of the teacher and signature with date. Who's the head? Uski signature. And the seal and signature of the IQAC coordinator who has taken the document with date. When you do this, the document is complete. The covering sheet is complete with all the necessary documents. Now, where to keep this document? This is the second part that comes in. This document should be stored. This document should be stored. This document should be stored in the department, not to be given to IQAC. IQAC has taken it. IQAC has seen it, IQAC has stamped it, IQAC has taken the signature, IQAC has returned it. IQAC does not have the document. Then what will IQAC do? We'll look it into the next document. By doing this, document gets a number. Tracking becomes easy. Point number one. Point number two, you don't have to do a Xerox copy of it again and again. No need of doing Xeroxing multiple copies, one over here, one over there. Then we don't know which we have given, which is the original. There is only one, and that is the original. And with whom is it? It is with the creator of the department. That is, let us say, zoology department has it. It is with them, with no one else, not with the IQAC. So you have not created a Xerox. Xerox is of no use to IQAC. Only original is needed. So it is not with IQAC. It is with the department. What does NAAC have? IQAC have. IQAC has given a number. Now, how will that number be useful? Let us look into document number 2. I want you to ask me a lot of questions. We're trying to make this process very, very simple. So, let's go to document number 2. It's quite possible that Mr. Pahade, that is me, Piyush Pahade, has done 10 activities. The department has done 20 activities. All of you come to document number 2. If you don't have it, please see this. So I'm making an index of all the documents together. This is the index that I'm going to give to NAAC, to IQAC. For example, serial number 1, activity number 1 on 29/22. Sorry, this number is incorrect. Activity number 1/science of 1/PMP/zoo/2022. Name of the activity, guest lecture by Dr. R.M. Patil on carbon chemistry in environment and its effects. List of documents submitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Name of the coordinator, Dr. Hande. Criterion number 7. Activity number 2, activity number 3, activity number 4, activity number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the number is. This is to be prepared in Excel sheet. This Excel sheet is to be printed. The copy of it is to be prepared. One copy, hard copy, will remain with the department. One hard copy will go to the IQAC coordinator. The soft copy will go to the IQAC coordinator. Means to IQAC. What more is going to come? The name of the department or the committee will come. Name of the head of the signature, head and the signature will come. The IQAC coordinator seal and signature will come. The principal seal and signature will come. Here, what activities have been done? The list is being signed by the principal, by the IQAC, and by the head. Something very important. This copy is going to be given to IQAC. A copy of it is going to be kept with the head of the department. What is the head is telling? The above listed documents are in the safe custody of the department/committee. The documents are a property of the college. They will be provided on demand by IQAC or to the college. Name of the head of the department, signature of the head of the department, file number and name, record filed with IQAC, and record filed with the head of the department. Both of them have the copy of it. These 1 or 2 papers are sufficient for the IQAC All the basic data that you need is with the IQAC. All the original documents are with department. Why should department have them? Primarily because department needs it. Last year हमने क्या किया था? What did we do last year? To find it out, we need to have the original document with us. The teacher will say, what did we do last year, sir? I wish to see the document. The head will say, open the log, give the file. The teacher will look into it, will plan accordingly, will be kept in the file, in the locker again. This cuts down heavily the paperwork. And furthermore, this one document can easily be photographed. It can be made a soft copy. It can be given to IQAC. It can be kept with you. NAAC wants it in a soft format only that you can do. So the original remains with you, with the department. The original remains with the department, and the soft copy may be given to anybody whosoever wants it. Paperwork is minimum. What you do once is done forever. And therefore, this kind of documentation plays an important role. I'm going to answer all your questions. Let's go to the third document that I wish to show you. Now, this document is useful whenever it is going to go for college work. This document is not useful when we are going to, just 1 minute, when we are going for research. So please come to document number 3, which I have given you. Please see this. What all can come? This goes with the individual teacher. This is still to be collected by the department and has to be showcased, given to the IQAC. This goes with the individual, but name of the teacher, name of the department, year. It could be a research project. Who's the principal investigator? There could be 2 investigators. So name of the principal investigator will come in. Title of the project will come in. Funding agency will come in. Duration will come in. Amount will come in. All this is to be written down in the first column itself. And then whether it is completed, tick mark, whether it is ongoing, tick mark, or whether it is sanctioned, tick mark. This is the first part that comes in. If you have 2 research projects, this entire sheet will repeat again. The research project 1, research project 2, completed, ongoing, sanctioned. Research project 3, completed, ongoing, sanctioned. Then you have research guideship. If you are a guide, then in that case, name of the student, name of the topic, funding received by the student, whether the research is completed or it is ongoing. दो ही बातें हो सकती. If there are research papers that are presented in the conferences, serial number, title of the research paper, title of the proceeding of the conference, name of the conference, whether it is national or international, in which year it was published, what is the ISBN or ISSN number, which is the affiliating institute who has done this, who is the publisher. Along with it, original documents are going to come, and so the copy is going to come. If you have got an award in research or in extension or in teaching, even in all these cases you can keep it. The format remains the same. This is for research, but name of the awardee, that is your name. Name of the award has a name. It could be Gunavanta Shikshak Puraskar. Awarding agency, it could be State of Maharashtra. Year of award 2022. Incentives given by the organization. Maybe some incentives have been given. Maybe 25,000 rupees have been given by the institution. Maybe a simple, nothing is given, but a certificate has been given. The person has been felicitated. Even that can be put up over here. Then what are the research? Then we come to the next part. It is research papers. Title of the research paper, name of the author, name of the department, name of the journal, year of publication, ISBN or ISSN number, whether it is indexed or it is not indexed, whether it has an impact factor or it does not have an impact factor. Keep in mind, for NAAC, only UGC care listed or Scopus listed or Web of Science listed papers are going to be counted. Then books, chapters published. Give the data. If a patent has been filed, give the data. If industry research related linkages have been done by the teacher, give the information. These are the 8 areas of research. In criteria 3, they can be asked. Other than this, nothing else is going to be asked. All this data comes from the teacher alone. No one else gives this data. And therefore, this must come with the teacher. Now let us go to document number 4. This is not asked regularly, but this is very important for us. What are the teaching methods that are being used? Number 1, okay, this comes only when you are writing down in the 5th year, but you need this data. If you can keep this data every year, it will be fantastic. AQAR also needs a little bit, but more of it is needed in the 5th year. What are the different teaching methodologies that you have used? It's a descriptive question, but we forget, we use different methods. An average teacher, very poor teacher, uses 10 methods. And good teachers who are very interactive, who love their students, they use at least 50 methods. We don't even know that they are the methods. For example, look at this particular chart. Date, on which date this was conducted, topic was cell division, methodology was games and quizzes, nature of methodology, it was participative, experiential, problem solving, it was participatory, students had participated. Who was the teacher? It was Dr. Shweta Pandit. Which class was it? It was for F5SC. How many students were there? 72 students were present. So in this way, different teaching methods can be listed out. At the end of the year, name of the teacher and signature, head of the department, IQAC coordinator, seal and signature. So in this way also you can have the data of it, because writing down that particular, it must have maximum methods of teaching. And the last is a plain sheet which you all follow, you all make it. It is the, when you take signatures of the student, something like this can be prepared. Department, activity name, date, time, venue, criterion, number, serial number, roll number, name of the student, group or specialization, signature. This is a very basic. You can do it better than this. In this way, you're able to see these different documents need to be prepared. The teacher, for a teacher, these 5 documents are sufficient as an individual teacher. Actually, out of 5, you have only 3. One is for the activity. The second one document goes with the department, but you contribute to it. The third one is the research. The fourth one happens to be the teaching methodologies. So if we can do this at your level, if you are clean, you don't have to worry. If each teacher does these very basics, if this teacher does this very, very basic, then in that case, the entire college has done everything. Trust me, there are so many average colleges. We help colleges in their NAAC. We help colleges to go through their SSRs. We mentor them. We are not consultants. We go through it. We help them to see to it and their documents are correct. The biggest hurdle that we find is that the teacher himself, just 1 second please, somebody has come. Just 1 minute, I'm all alone in the house. Just hold on. I'm so sorry. I had a guest, so had someone at the door, so I had to open it. So actually, what I wanted to make a mention is that with these very basics, very, very raw basics, you can make a big impact. Your role, maybe in the organization of 50, 1/50th is your role. That 1/50th of a rule, if each one is going to do it, it would come out to 50 out of 50, 100%. And you don't have to do big. All that you do needs to be written down properly. These formats are for the nation, these formats are for free, and any help you need, definitely on the format itself also you have my number and mail ID, you can always communicate with me. So this was all that I wanted to tell you about documentation. If we don't contribute, we lose. Trust me, the morale of the institution goes down drastically if we get bad grades. Maybe NAAC is going to remove the grades. Keep in mind, you may remove the grades, they're not removing the marks. Second part, don't forget that they have elevated their benchmarks. That is the reason why they have declared it. We knew the earlier benchmarks also. But with elevated benchmarks, achieving becomes all the more difficult. And if you want to achieve it, documentation is the key, nothing else. Thank you so much for listening to me very peacefully. Your questions are welcome. Yes, thank you, Dr. Murli. Questions, you can mute yourself and please ask me your questions. Okay. Silva Kumari madam has made a mention of, could you mention some of the teaching methodologies? Okay.
Sir, this is a very good presentation for us. Highly lamenting one. My question is on publication, which I have posted there. If two people are making a presentation of paper in a conference, it can be taken only once. Am I correct, sir? Or
Yeah,
can
it
it
can
be
be
taken
taken
for both?
only once. And there is one more thing. If two people are presenting, the paper must make a mention of the name of the college.
Yes.
If
Yes.
that is not mentioned, for example, very often we have a habit of putting the name of the university that I am representing from the university, and we lose. So we should see to it that we boldly put our names.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The that research paper gets counted where the college name is present. Unless the teacher makes his
And
name. For example, very often there is one question that comes in. Sir, we had a teacher who had joined recently and he has 10 research papers. I said, great. But then, but then the next question that comes from me is, what is the name of the institution? I say, it's the previous institution. Those research papers will not be counted for. So we need to see to it that our college name comes in. It's very important.
Uh,
whether abstracts which are coming in that will be considered? No, only full papers will be.
Full paper will be counted. You
Okay.
should, when you go
Right.
for a conference, you should always ask them whether a full paper is going to be published.
Okay.
If it is an abstract, if they are not sure, if the answer is not confident, just don't register with them.
Okay. Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Such a wonderful presentation, Piyush sir. Not only the wonderful presentation, it's a nice example, very short example. I will never forget your love letter example, sir. It's amazing. Now it's
It is
easy,
a love letter, no doubt about it.
really. And I am Ajay Mishra from DY Patil, Ajinkya DY Patil University. So I heard your name also from some of my seniors. So all the things I understand very well quickly because of your nice example. I got the YouTube also, so I'll repeat. I forget something. I want to
Yeah,
say
you will find a lot of things on the YouTube also. I have contributed to one of the colleges in Delhi, and they have prepared an entire series on NAC. Now, some questions have changed here and there due to the format, but you will find me very well on the YouTube. You will find at least 100 videos of about NAC on YouTube. You can refer that. The only thing is the questions have been fused up now, so the number may change, but that's okay. The content has not changed. Some time ago, madam was making a mention saying that they have cut down the metrics. They have not cut down the content. They have only cut down the numbers. Otherwise, very few questions have been deleted. Yeah.
Sir, this research paper when NAAC, for the NAAC accreditation, so there are three type of research paper. Most of the one is Scopus, second UGC journal, and third is journal. So
Web of
they
Sciences.
also so they also count that journals if SIN
No,
numbers are there.
no.
No, so they.
Until and unless, see,
Hmm.
with respect to research papers,
Hmm.
until and unless it is either UGC care listed
Hmm. Hmm.
or it is an international paper, it's an international paper
Yes, yes.
with a Scopus listing or with a Web of Science listing,
Hmm.
then and then it would be counted out. And on if you go on the website of UGC, you will find Group A and Group B. You'll find it, or Group 1 and Group 2 journals. They have been very clean and clear about it. Second part, when you're uploading the data on the NAAC portal, when you are going for SSR, NAAC does not ask you research paper. It says, give me the name of the research journal. That is, give me the link of the research journal and give me the link of the research paper, which they see from the original site.
Okay. Yes, yes.
So
Great.
they don't, if you put an PDF on your website and give that link, they will not accept it. I'd like to give you one of the colleges in Delhi. In the first meeting, when I was talking to them, they said that no, sir, we have 120 research papers. I said that's a fantastic number. How many teachers are you? He said we are 15 teachers. And then I said that how many of them are Scopus or listed? 40 research papers got cut down. So there were only 80 research papers that were remaining. They said that no, we want to put it. If we can become professors with this, why can't we? I said you can argue in any way. That is fantastic. There is no doubt about it. NAAC is not going to count it out. It was not counted. It was not counted. They just don't, that did not even mention about these 40 research papers. They said that we count your 120 research papers. There was no
Again,
chance of an appeal. Nothing is possible.
one
Right,
small
right.
clarification with regard to, in continuation to what Ajay Kumar Mishra has said. Sir, in case of e-journals, we can give the link. In case of published journals,
You get a link. You get a
okay,
link. There is a link.
that we can do.
Even if it is a published journal, they must have their website. They must make a mention it's an UGC care listed journal. And for the minimum expectation for a UGC care listed journal is they must have their website. Everything needs to come on the website. Immaterial whether it's a paid journal or it's not a paid journal.
Okay.
It is mandatory. You
Okay.
have to first the journal has to accept it, and then they can go ahead. Without these,
And
they will not be accepted.
when it comes to patenting, whether the patenting done within the country or outside the country,
Pardon
is there
me?
any classification? Patenting of a project.
It's not
Patenting
important.
is-
It is not
Sorry.
important whether it is done. It must have your name. It must have your
Okay.
address. It must have your details. Whether it is done in India or it is done in US, it makes no difference.
No difference.
If it's your patent, it's your patent.
Okay. Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such a wonderful information. Thank you so much.
much. Yes, next question, please.
Sir, may I ask?
Yes.
Okay. So, sir, I'm from B.Ed College from Mumbai,
Okay.
and this question is coming from our background. Like, we don't have a proper system of documentation till now somehow, and I just took over as a coordinator, IQAC coordinator. That's why you can imagine, like, I'm buried under the flawed data.
Actually,
And
all
that's
the
how I'm
best to
trying
you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So I'm just asking some basic questions because these are important for us to set up a new system. One thing is, in one of the activity sheets, you have mentioned about the departmental file numbers. So how effectively these file numbers could be utilized and how? Because every department might have their internal system, plus IQSC should have
Wait a minute.
master
Thank you
system.
so much for asking this question.
So one more question.
No,
Should
one
I
at a
wait
time.
for answer?
One at a time.
Okay, thank you.
What IQC should do is prepare a filing numbering system. Let us say the college has 10 departments, hypothetically. Make a standardized filing mechanism. You can ask the college, the entire college, what all files you have. what names you have given. Do anything first. Respect them, that's a big thing. And then create a uniform filing mechanism. This is one thing. Keep files to the minimum. Many a places box files work fantastically. Many a times you don't have big number of papers in a file. So you can have 2 or 3 box files per department or 4 box files. For 1 year, it's absolutely okay. And keep a uniform file numbering system for the entire college. Now, what happens is it becomes very easy. You go to, for all the academic details of the department, go to document file number 1. So you will find the details of the teacher, you will find the details of his timetable, you will find details of his academic calendar, you will find details of all the things that goes with file number 1. So whether it is Department of Chemistry, Department of Microbiology, Department of Physical Sciences, with Department of Zoology, 1 means this. 2, it cuts down operational ambiguity tremendously. So by sitting at your place, you can say, oh, file number 1 में जो आपने दिया है ना, उतना एक कागज मेरे पास भेज दो. That's all. So it will take a little time, but just do the listing. Maybe 10 files, 15 files, 20 files may come out. So keep those headings very clean and clear. You can do one more thing. Go through your B.Ed manual of NAAC. See how many possible files can come in. That will give you an idea. So this is what you want. So just work it out. Okay. So some of them can be clubbed up very fantastically and it can be fitted out.
Yes.
Yes, second part.
For answering, yeah. Second question is, we are a very small unit. Like our intake is 50 students per batch of students. Like FY we will have 50 students, SY we will have 50 students. Now for whatever teaching methodologies we are using all kinds of methods, videos, analysis, movie analysis and book reviews, everything we have. Now my question is, for every these sessions, we don't have signatures by the students because there are only 50 students. We know them by name. Once they are in the college, it's only 1 floor of the building we are occupying and they don't have any escape. So whoever is present on the day is in the class. When it comes to the session of the outsiders, like guest sessions, for those sessions, we have attendance sheet. Fantastic. So on that day, they are signing. So is it required even for our sessions? Because
no, it's not needed. What you can do is, in your attendance that you take, you take an attendance, that's for sure. Just make a mention that what has been done on that day, in what way it has been done. Second part is your teacher's diary is there. In the teacher's diary, make a mention. Keep in mind, teacher's diary is a very big proof. Second, your attendance is a very big proof. When you're taking an attendance, at that time, when you're taking an attendance, just make a mention that this method was used, this topic is. So it would come with the date, it would come with the name of the topic, it would come with the method that you have used. That's sufficient over there. So you have space at the top, at the bottom. 50 students is not a big number.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It was very useful session, very practical.
Yeah, we are quite familiar with Mumbai. We have a good number of colleges.
Yes, sir. I'm there in the group and I'll be connecting with you soon for some more queries.
What's the name of your college?
Kapila Khandwala College of Education.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Yes. Next question, please.
Sir, very short question or maybe idea or suggestion. So, sir, actually, NAAC is a big, it's not a small thing. It's a big issue for new upcoming universities and ongoing university and thousands. And now Indian economies is growing very fast. And I was in Oman, Dubai, Bangladesh. So all the countries, the education of India is really, they respect this education because people really, they're seriously doing great work. Now, what is my question? So, suppose the NAAC is a good issue. Even the universities are doing great work to, get that affiliation. So, why NAAC not start some PG diploma for this learning this all thing or diploma in learning all thing, so that more than 10,000 every year job can also generate, because universities can hire the particular person who did the 1 year diploma from the NAAC. It is good for economic and NAAC will also get a lot of, things. It's my suggestion. I think it's a very...
Number one, NAAC is an accrediting body.
Yeah. Yeah.
NAAC is a private body. NAAC is not a government body.
Right.
One. Second, it's an accrediting body. it is not into trainings.
Right.
The money that they provide for conducting such kind of seminars and webinars is primarily a kind of a best practice that they are doing.
Hmm.
They are not into training. They will not come into training. They are into accreditation. So they will never do this. DY Patil can try it.
But sir, if someone can start, so can you allow this?
Yes,
If I'll
definitely.
suppose, if suppose example, we can start PG diploma in NAC documentations, okay, example, or we can name something else. So people can do so. Then other universities can understand. No, the people are expert on this all the thing, and they can hire also. NAC also revision is also
You
possible.
may not keep NAC because NAC is to go now. It will be NAC,
Uh-huh.
and NAC, that is most probably this NAC will become a licensing authority, and there would
Oh.
be multiple accreditation agencies working under NAC.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, what is happening? NAC is doing all this all alone,
Mm-hmm.
which they are too overloaded. Let's be very honest. I have been to that place. I have seen these people,
Mm.
talk to them also.
Right. Right.
In the any in NEP, uh, accreditation is the fourth pillar. There are four pillars.
Mm.
Accreditation is the fourth pillar. But then you can always have a course in documentation and effective documentation where you can count on, and NAC, you can count uh, NIRF, you can take into picture so many other things, count everything together, make a curriculum out of it. If DY Patil is doing it, I can help you out. We have a wonderful team also. You can
Oh,
take that
great. Great.
lead. We can
Yes, sir.
advertise it on our. We have a Telegram group which has almost 4,000 teachers, which has 4,000 teachers in
Mm-hmm.
pan India. We conduct documentation courses. I myself have conducted 3 documentation courses with respect to NAC, and more than
Oh.
1,000 teachers have participated in these 3 courses. We have also conducted courses for principals and directors on policy writing, and Badrusa madam was there. Me and Badrusa madam together had conducted that course. We have conducted courses on academic bank of on sorry on what is the outcome based education. So
Yeah.
all these we do keep on doing. Then
Right.
everything has a limit until and unless there is a separate institution who's actually or a separate body is going to work on it, things will not work.
Not well.
But is a grain of sand. That's all. Because you're teaching in the college also, you're working also, you're conducting, doing all these dramas, all that. You're conducting a webinar, you're conducting an audit, you're writing down on. We also create manuals for assisting in the NAC.
Mhm.
Currently, we are helping some of the universities in Pune to so that they go for NAC, and we are
Right.
helping them in World Peace University, MIT, WPU is currently with us. Also, in a way, associated with Symbiosis Skills University.
Oh,
So
yes,
we are
yes.
working with them. So everything is not possible. So if an organization like DY takes place, we will like to help you. Not an issue. We can help you in framing out the syllabi. We can help you in giving the right people.
Mm.
So many things can be done. Well,
Sir, last small sort.
if anyone else wants to ask, let
One,
them ask
it's
first.
more 30
Ajay,
seconds.
let someone wants to ask. And time frame is also there.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Even the format that have been given has my number. They can talk on WhatsApp. Thank you so much, madam. Sorry for taking an extra time. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Is anybody in meeting, sir? May I know the status of the meeting, sir? Please. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Yes.
2018, he received the Progressive Education Society Best Teachers Award. He has published 4 books, 6 articles in reputed publication, and edited 4 books. I once again thank you for organizing committee for giving this opportunity to introduce our resource person on this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now the session is over to our chief guest.
Thanks a
Welcome
lot.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. May I share my screen?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. Is it visible? Okay, thank you. So, at the outset, let me thank the organizers, the team members of the organizing committee, and the principal and the coordinator of the college for arranging such a wonderful NAAC sponsored 2-day workshop for all the IQAC members. We are going to discuss about the criteria number 1. Just now we have discussed the details about the documentation process, and now we are going to discuss criteria number 1 in detail. What type of documents are required for criteria number 1 and how we can go further with the documentation process. Before starting of the first criteria, I just want to tell something about the process that whenever we are going to submit either AQAR or SSR, we need to upload certain documentary evidences for each and every claim that we are going to do on the NAAC portal. And then a committee, that is data validation and verification committee, is going to validate the documents, verify the documents. Now, when the DVV committee is going to verify your documents, once the documents are submitted, the deviation report will be generated by the DVV committee. Let me first apologize for the other noise at my place, because right now some work is going on in my college, and we are having our peer team visit on 26th and 27th of December. It's high time for our peer team visit. So I must apologize for the other noise, but still we will continue. The DVV deviation report will be generated by the DVV committee. And if the deviation, if a major amount of deviation is found, the HAI will be liable for penalty or legal action. And there are certain incidences, there are certain cases wherein the legal action or the penalty was imposed on certain institutions. So whatever is true, whatever is the documented with you, claim only those things. Don't manipulate the documents. Don't don't indulge in any of the malpractices. So to avoid the legal action or penalty, we need to upload only the genuine documents, and that is required. If the legal action is taken or the penalty is imposed on the institution, the fees paid for the IIQA will also be forfeited if it is the SSR process. It is quite possible that the statutory authorities may take some action against the institution. Institution will be debarred from the assessment process for some of the years, and then the institution may not be able to admit new students in their institution for a few more years. If there is no deviation or the deviation is very negligible, then the deviation, then the committee will give you the required report, and you can proceed further for the peer team visit subject to pre-qualifier. What is this pre-qualifier? Pre-qualifier means whatever is the quantitative matrix and all the total SSR, at least the HEI requires minimum at least 25% of score in those metrics. If minimum 25% of score is achieved by the institutions, it is quite possible that you will get the pre-qualification email or notification from the NAAC. If the pre-qualify, that means if any institution is not in a position to secure minimum 25% marks that were allotted for the quantitative metrics, then the institution has to apply again. They have to submit again the IIQA with the fresh fees, and that can be only after 6 months of the first application. So to avoid this, we need to secure at least minimum 25% of marks or more number of marks in the DVV process. That means in the documentation and the quantitative metrics. And then if we get the pre-qualification email notification from the NAAC, then within 15 days, we have to submit the second installment of the SSR. Then we can go for the patent visit. And if the pre-qualification email, even after receiving pre-qualification email, if we fail to submit the second installment of SSR and the logistic fees, then again the process we have to start with the process again for that. So to avoid this, we need to be particular. We need to be very particular regarding documents. We have already discussed in detail about the documentation process from Professor Pade sir. So the process for criteria number 1 will start only after the first information about the institution is filled in the SSR, and also even if it is AQAR, unless and until you fill the part A of the AQAR, you will not be proceeding further. You may not proceed further to part B. In case of part B, first of all, we have to provide the some information regarding the institution, maybe the number of students, number of teachers, number of computers, and all other things. That is called as extended profile. There are few metrics which are extended profile. They are not going to be counted in the numerical marks, but whatever you are going to submit in extended profile will act as the denominator for all the metrics in all the 7 criteria. So whenever you claim that in criteria number 1, so and so number of students are doing so and so activity, the denominator or category will be taken from the extended profile. So you have to be very careful while filling the extended profile of the institution. If that amount, the value of the extended profile, wherever it is asked, if it is not proper, if it is not in a proper situation, then your denominator is going to change. And if the denominator is going to change, your percentage, your all other responses are going to change. So be careful about the extended profile. Fill it very carefully. Don't commit any mistake in filling up the extended profile. Now let us discuss about the criteria number 1. Criteria number 1 has total 4 key indicators. For AQAR, as the AQAR is based on the previous SSR format, now the SSR format is changed from the 1st of June 2022, and there may be some few more changes in the next coming year. But for criteria number 1, there will not be much more changes over there in the format of AQAR and SSR. We are going to discuss these things in detail. So the first key indicator is curricular planning and implementation. Now, as we know that for the affiliated institutions, the curriculum is planned by the university, the affiliating university, and we are there to implement that curriculum. We are going to implement that curriculum at our level. Now, how effectively you deliver the curriculum, how effectively you provide your curriculum to the students, what type of other efforts you take, how you cater to the of the students. Some students may be slow learners, some students may be advanced learners. How you cater with them, how you deal with them, how effectively you apply your policies and mechanism to deliver your curriculum effectively. That is all we are going to discuss in this particular criteria. So the first question, as per the SSR format, the first question is: institution ensures effective curriculum planning and delivery through a well-planned and documented process. Now here, there are two aspects of this question. Well-planned, that means planning. We need to explain what type of planning we have done for effective curriculum delivery and how we have documented it properly. This is one part of the question. The second part, now in the AQAR format, these two questions are different. Now in SSR format, these questions are clubbed in one, including academic calendar and conduct of continuous internal assessment. Now in AQR, you may find that the two questions are different, 1.1, 1.1.2. 1.1.1 is asking about the effective curriculum delivery through and documented process, and 1.1.2 discusses about the adherence to academic calendar along with continuous internal assessment or evaluation. So now in SSR, the questions are clubbed into one. Now, how we are going to plan for the curriculum delivery? So first of all, the planning is done at three different levels. We have to plan at the institutional level, we have to plan at the departmental level, and we have to plan at the individual level. Now, department institutional level plan will start with the preparation of academic calendar, and this academic calendar will be in tune with the academic calendar of the university, affiliated university, because university will declare the starting and ending dates for the semester or any academic year, and according to that, university will also declare about the probable dates for the examination. Depending on that, based on that, the institution will prepare their own academic calendar, how they are going to proceed further with the delivery of the curriculum. And that will be done at the institutional level. Then every department, or if the college is multi-faculty institution, they have to do the plan at their faculty level, and they will prepare their own academic calendar. So when the curriculum is going to start, when the actual lectures are going to start, when some activities are going to be conducted, when we are going to conduct some final evaluation. So all these things will be planned and it will be prepared in a format of a calendar, and that will be made available to the students and all other stakeholders on the institutional website. So the planning will be at the department level. Once the departmental level planning is done, then every teacher, every individual faculty member will plan for their own academic calendar. They will prepare their own lecture plan. They will prepare their own plans for the activities, different activities they are going to conduct for their betterment of the students, for improvement or the improvement of the learning levels of the students, and all other activities. So the planning will be done at three different levels: institutional, departmental, as well as individual level. And now, what type of documentation where we can provide, what type of documentary evidences we can provide for this particular question? Now, this question is a qualitative question. We have to provide the answer in AQR for in 200 words, but in SSR it is for 500 words. So we have to be very careful while using the words. So academic calendar will be prepared at three different levels, and the teaching plan, every faculty member, every teacher will prepare the teaching plan. The departmental meetings will be conducted, and in the departmental meeting, so the minutes of the departmental meeting will be your documentations for the work distribution amongst the staff members in that particular department. Then the learning outcomes, we are going to discuss these learning outcomes in detail in criteria number 2. But learning outcomes are displayed on the website. They are well communicated to the students as well as to the faculty members of your institution. And according to that, we plan our delivery, curriculum delivery. So a timetable. Now, many institutions run in shift basis. If it is multi-faculty college, they run in shift basis. So a comprehensive timetable, total timetable of the institution should be prepared. So how effectively you utilize your infrastructure, available infrastructure in different shifts vertically, that is going to be the documentary evidence in the form of the timetable. Then the attendance records in the different sessions that you need to keep. Then the resources available in the institution, teaching learning resources, what type of ICT tools are available in the institution, what type of other resources are available in the institution, that you can show evidence for effective curriculum delivery. Now, we can form some bridge courses. Bridge courses are normally designed for the students, those who come from other stream. If a student from science stream wants to enter art stream, a student who has completed his 12th or the HSC level from science stream, and maybe due to some other reason, or maybe now he is going to enter or he is going to enter in art stream, or a student from science stream wants to enter a commerce stream and he wants to continue with the undergraduate course of commerce. It is quite possible that according to the eligibility criteria, it is allowed. A science stream student can take admission to a commerce undergraduate course. In that situation, the students may not be well aware about some basic concepts of commerce. Maybe students are not aware about the terms of economics, terms of accountancy, because they are normally taught, the basic things are normally taught in the junior college, and then they come in the undergraduate courses of the university. But if it is not, the students are not aware about these terms, we can plan a bridge course for these students. Or sometimes it may happen that the students that we have admitted are very slow learners. Maybe there are some repeaters or some students who are very slow learners. So for them, we can organize these bridge courses. Now, the normal question for these bridge courses are how many bridge courses, how many days the course should be prepared, for how many days. One question is normally asked many times, that as I have noticed in many sessions. Second thing, what should be the curriculum? Third thing, whether the bridge courses should be offered to the students free of cost, or we should charge for them. Now, bridge courses should be designed and offered on need basis. So if there is a need for bridge courses, you can take those bridge courses. According to the need, you can design the curriculum. So what concepts you need to communicate to students, what concepts you want to carry to the students, that and the time required to carry those or communicate those concepts, that will decide. The subject teacher is the best judge to decide the length of the bridge courses. It can be maybe a 3 hours course, it can be a 7 days course or 15 days course, as per the requirement of the students and the requirement of the teacher to communicate some basic concepts to the students, at least to bridge the gap between the understanding level of the students. So bridge courses, the duration of the bridge courses can be on the need basis, curriculum can be on the need basis, and at the same time, whether it should be offered free of cost or we have to charge for that, that is the decision of your management. Your management will decide whether to charge separately for those bridge courses, or when the student takes admission to your institution, the bridge courses will be offered to them as free of cost. That is your management decision. So there is no specific guideline for bridge courses. Now we are talking about bridge courses, so that whenever we start the actual curriculum delivery for the undergraduate or postgraduate courses, all the students in the class will be at the same level, or their understanding level will be one and the same. Once if the students coming from other stream will get some basic concept, knowledge about them, some basic concepts, the understanding level of the students, all students in the class will be similar, and then you can start actual delivering of the curriculum. Once you start the delivery of the curriculum, once you interact with the students, the subject teacher, while interacting with the students, while taking some activities class, while taking some internal assignments or some internal tests, or sometimes we may conduct some diagnostic tests of the students. From these tests, from interactions, from various activities, you can identify that some of the students are slow learners, some of the students are gradual learners. So if you find that these students are, they need some additional inputs. There are gradual learners, there are slow learners, so we need some additional inputs for them. For that reason, we can conduct some remedial courses. Remedial courses, which courses will be before starting the actual delivery of the curriculum, and remedial courses will after few days or few months, once you get the idea about the understanding of the students, idea about whether they are advanced learners or slow learners, and for the slow learners, for the graduate learners, you can start these remedial courses. Again, the same situation is there. The duration of the remedial courses, the curriculum of the remedial courses will be on the need basis. Whatever is required, the subject teacher is the best judge, and the subject teacher will decide what will be the duration for the remedial courses and what will be the curriculum for the remedial courses. At the same time, the same situation is there for remedial courses, whether to offer these remedial courses free of cost or to charge for that. It is the management decision of your institution. So we can offer these remedial courses to the students so that the slow learners, the advanced slow learners will at least be upgraded to at least average students, or the graduate learners get some additional input so that they can improve their performance in the assessment process. So bridge courses and remedial courses will be offered to the students for effective curriculum delivery. We can also provide the students with the question banks or previous year question papers, or we can plan some activities so that there will be a learning by doing. Some role plays, some guest sessions, some presentations, or some other things, some other type of activities, maybe games. You can deliver your curriculum through some certain games. You can deliver some concept with the games or activities or quiz. So you can plan these activities over there. You can prepare the result analysis. You can. It is important to maintain the teacher's diary. That is a very good documentation. This diary is maintained properly by each and every faculty member. It should be verified maybe after a few months or periodically by the head of the department and head of the institution. Dates of internal assessment should be communicated well in advance through academic calendar to the students as well as to the faculty members so that they can plan their activity. And adherence to academic calendar is the most important thing. So once you have declared the academic calendar, it's the starting of the year, you have to stick to your academic calendar. There can be some situations, in some unavoidable situations, the academic calendar can be modified, or it can maybe the period of assessment will be different from that which we have mentioned in academic, only in unavoidable situations. But otherwise, it is expected that we have to stick to academic calendar, and the role of IQAC is to take a follow mentioned in that calendar. The departments and the faculty members are following that academic calendar, and the internal assessment, the evaluation process is taken care of as per the academic calendar. So that needs to be mentioned in 500 words in SSR and 200 words in AQAR. Now let us discuss about the second key indicator. Before that, I want to tell you that if you are talking about AQAR, there is one more question in AQAR which was now removed in the SR format. It is related to the faculty representation in various university bodies, whether the faculty members are in the academic council of the university, affiliated university, or the faculty members are involved in curriculum design or paper evaluation process, that is paper setting and paper checking of the affiliated university. But now from SSR format it has been removed. University letters, and that will be taken care of only if your faculty members are associated with the affiliating university only. If the faculty members are engaged in the paper setting or paper checking of any other private university or the autonomous institutions that will not be counted for that AQAR purpose. From SSR, that question has been now removed. So indicate is academic flexibility. So what type of flexibility you offer to your students? So how the institution cater to the flexibility of the students? Maybe on the basis of the choices that they may have. There are various choices available to the students so that they can go further for the various different type of certificate course or add-on course or validate course along with their regular curriculum. So that type of flexibility, whether it is available in the institution or not, that we are going to count over here. So the question in the SSR is number of add-on, certificate or value-added programs offered during last 5 years. This is a question for SSR. Now, first of all, let me clear the concept of add-on course and value-added course. Okay. Add-on course is a course which will add knowledge to the existing curriculum. That means it should be related to some of the course, some of the subject of your curriculum. And you may find that something is missing or some advanced things or latest available techniques or latest available things or recent trends are missing in the curriculum. As you are going to follow the curriculum designed and developed by affiliated university, you may not be able to add that in the curriculum, but you want your students to be globally competent, you want your students to be getting the latest knowledge, so you can plan for these add-on courses. Only thing in these add-on courses or value-added courses is the courses should be of minimum 30 contact hours duration. So the schedule for the add-on courses should be minimum 30 hours duration. So if the course is going to add knowledge to the existing curriculum of any of the subject, it will be called as add-on course. If you are going to inculcate some values or you are going to give some life skills to the students, which is not directly related with any of the curriculum, it will be called as value-added programs. So, or there can be some certificate courses which may sometimes be included, can counted in add-on or sometimes can be counted in value-added. But here, for this particular question, all the three things are taken together. So no need to debate on whether we should count it as add-on course or value-added course or certificate course. Everything will be taken together over here. Now what is required is that you need to upload, you need to give the documentary evidence that how many add-on or certificate or value-added programs you offer to your students. Okay, so now in this situation, you need to prepare the brochure of the add-on course or certificate course that you can display to the students, and you appeal your students that okay, this is the add-on course or add-on program, you can take participation over there so that you will get some additional knowledge about a particular course. So a brochure or the notice displayed to the students, that will be required as documentary evidence over there. Then you need the list of the students admitted for this particular program. So how many students were admitted? What are the different programs that you offer to the students? The flyer or the brochure or the notice of that particular program. After completion of the program, you can prepare a short report of the program. That will be a documentary evidence. And that report will be signed by the coordinator of that add-on program or certificate course. It will be signed by the IQAC coordinator and it will be signed by the head of the institution. So a report, a short report, which will mention what type of activities were conducted or were involved in that particular program. Then certificates issued after successful completion of the certificate program or course. Certificates, we normally issue the certificate to the students. So the certificates, you need to scan those certificates because sometimes the DVV will ask certain certificates from whenever you provide the list, these many students have completed this particular add-on or certificate course. The requirement, the DVV will tell you the names, they will shortlist maybe 10, 15 names from your own list, and they will they will ask you about provide the certificates of these students. They will give the 10, 15 names and provide the certificates of these students. So you need to scan all those certificates before issuing the certificates to the students. You need to keep the scanned certificates with you so that whenever DVB asks about certain certificates, you can easily provide them to the DVB for the clarification process. Then the annual report of the institution, which shows that particular program was conducted and the budget for that particular program. Even once the value-added program or the certificate program is fulfilled and the students get their certificate, you can also take some feedback from the students so that it can be we can improve the type of add-on or certificate programs. So students will give you some other type of inputs as well. So here the question is, how many number of add-on or certificate programs you offer to the students? So what is the flexibility? What is the options? What are the different options available to the students? Now, still the benchmarks are some recommendatory benchmarks are displayed by NAAC. It is under process. Maybe shortly they are going to finalize those benchmarks, and those benchmarks will be applicable from 1st of January. Those who are going to submit their IIQA after 1st of January 2023, those benchmarks will be applicable. Right now, whatever the benchmarks are there, they are not disclosed, but the proposed benchmarks for this particular question is more than 25 programs, add-on or certificate or value-added programs in last 5 years. Okay, so at least we need 25 different programs, and then they will ask, there is a DVB sheet, that is there is one Excel sheet in which we need to provide the required information. They will ask how many times you have offered this program. How many times means, if you maybe let us consider that we offer maybe a soft skill or any other type of a value-added program to the students. So how many times in the academic year we offer that program to the students? Once in a year, twice in a year, or how many times? So that needs to be mentioned over there in the DVB. So you may go through the DVB sheet, you will find that what is mentioned over there. Now the next question is also aligned with the previous question. 1.1, 2.2 and 1.2.1 are aligned with each other. Now, whenever you claim that we have 25 different add-on programs or 30 different add-on programs, in the next question they will ask about how many of your students have enrolled, they have completed successfully these programs. What happens is that we declare the programs, we conduct those programs, but normally students are not willing to go for these programs. Now, in this case, every mentor, every faculty member, the role of every mentor and faculty member is very important to encourage, to motivate the students to go for, to enroll such add-on certificate programs. Because if the number, at least 50% or more than 50% students should be enrolled or should be completing at least one of the add-on programs every year, then only you are going to get good number of marks. So the thing is that you need to encourage your students to take participate in these programs so that the good number of marks will be there for the institution, as well as the students will get some additional knowledge, they will get some value addition, and they will be globally competent. Your end product, the person who is going to qualify from your institution will be globally competent. They will get good type of job opportunities in the market. So it is the duty of every mentor or every faculty member to encourage students to go for more and more type of course. Now, one student will be counted once in one academic year. And as I told you that these programs or these certificate courses should be of minimum 30 hours. Now, the DVB sheet or the Excel sheet is common for the two metrics, 1.2.1 and 1.2.2. Here also we need to mention the name of the program, the duration of the program, the curriculum, and the documentary evidence. We need all these documents. What is the process? If there is any assessment after the completion of the program, you are going to conduct. What is the procedure for assessment? What are the outcomes of the program? You can also share some success stories of that particular program, or the list of enrolled students. These many students were enrolled. Not only that, you have to also mention how many of them. Only enrollment list is not sufficient. You need to provide the attendance sheet, and you need to provide the report of how many students have successfully completed these programs. And as I told you, that certificates issued to the student should also be kept as a soft copy with the institution, so that we can provide it as the documentary evidence whenever it is asked by the DVB members. And the feedback received from the students for all these type of programs that they have gone through, that is also important, so that we can make some improvements in these type of programs. The third key indicator is related to curriculum enrichment. So what efforts a particular institution takes to enrich the existing curriculum. Now, sometimes there are some cutting issues which are addressed in the curriculum itself. So what efforts we normally take to enrich that curriculum, what type of activities we conduct to address those cross-cutting issues. Even if those cross-cutting issues are mentioned or given in your curriculum, how effectively you tackle with them. What are the different variety of activities or programs you conduct to address those cross-cutting issues. That is mentioned over there. Now, the first question in this particular key indicator is institution integrates cross-cutting issues to professional ethics, gender, human values, environment, and sustainability into the curriculum. So the first thing that is required for all the programs that we offer, and then we have to identify the courses in which these cross-cutting issues are addressed, or there is some mention about these cross-cutting issues. It can be the professional ethics, it can be the gender sensation, it can be human values, it can also be the cyber security or environment and sustainability, environment consciousness. So in every program and all the other courses, these things are mentioned in at least some of the other courses. So first of all, it is the duty of every teacher to identify these courses and then conduct some activities, some sessions, some it can be the guest sessions, it can be the different type of activities like group discussions, quiz competitions, maybe the role plays, or any other type of activities can be conducted over there to address these type of cross-cutting issues, so that your students will be well aware about these cross-cutting issues. This is nothing but giving them some value. We have to educate the values among the students by addressing the cross-cutting issues, so that the students will be a good citizen. And this is again a qualitative question, so we need to give answer in 500 words for SSR and 200 words for AQAR. What type of activities we conduct for addressing these cross-cutting issues and how we do that. The next question in the third indicator is percentage of students undertaking project work, field work, and internships. Project work, it can be from the curriculum itself, or it can be apart from the curriculum. Now, in the previous NAAC process, in the previous manual, there was a compulsion that the field work or project work must be mentioned in the curriculum, and that will be only considered for this particular question. But now, in the latest framework, which is applicable from 1st of June 2022, they have removed that particular criteria. That means if any institution on their own, they are providing internship to the students, you can count it over here. If you are going for SSR in this latest framework. In the previous framework, that was not there. But so now what is important is that we have to identify in which of the courses the project work, field work or internships are done by the students. And now we have to find the program wise list of students. So these many students are doing project. These many students are doing field work in many science streams, science courses. Field work is given in some of the courses, project work is given, and in many institutions, in many of the faculties, internships are also compulsory. Or in some situations, even if it is not compulsory, institution or the faculty members on their own initiative, they provide internship to the students so that they will get some hands-on experience and they will be industry ready. All these things are nothing but experiential learning things. By doing your project, by visiting a particular field, by actually working on the field, by actually doing the internships, you get the hands-on training. So students will be industry ready. They will, once they pass out from your institution, they graduate from your institution, they will get the hands-on experience while doing their graduation. And once they pass out from your institution, they will be ready for the industry. So these things matter a lot. So you need provide or you need to encourage more and more students to go for such type of experiential learning process. Now, the things that required is program-wise list of students, title of the project. If the project work, we need to provide the title of the project, list of the students, title of the project of each student. If it is a combined project of maybe a group of 4 or 5 people, it can be given like that. If the project is done at a different place where the project has been completed, it is completed at a particular institution outside the campus, then you must mention that the permission letter of that particular institution and the completion letter of the institution that so and so student of so and so institution has completed the project at this place. Then if it is a field work means you have to actually work on a particular field in a particular locality in a particular place. Then if you need to take some permission from some of the authorities to work over there to visit that place, that permission letters will be the documentary evidence for this particular case. Then sample photographs of the field work, because if your students and the faculty members are actually visiting a particular field, visiting a particular area and doing a particular research work or any other type of work over there, some sample photographs are required over there. It will be better if it is a geotag photograph. Then you need to prepare a short report about the project or the field work that you and your faculty members and the students have completed, and it should be signed by the respective mentor or the guide of that particular project or field work, and it should be provided to the NAAC as the evidence, document evidence. You need to mention the objectives behind that particular project or field work and outcome of the activity. If some field work, given some suggestion in that after doing that field work, if given some suggestion to the management of that particular area or to the local government or to state government or any other process. So that requires over there. Now, In the old manual, this question 1.3.2 question was the courses in which this experiential learning was asked, or it is mentioned in the curriculum. Now, as the curriculum compulsion is removed from the SSR format, it may be there in the AQAR, but SSR format will not have that particular type of question, and so the percentage of students undertaking this particular thing will be asked. In the AQAR, you may find different questions in how many courses this experiential learning activity is mentioned, and how many percentage of students are taking this kind of activity or undergoing this type of experiential learning activity. But in SSR, there is only one question related to this, that is percentage of students undertaking this experiential learning activity. Now, at least 35% or more number of students, sorry, 35% or more number of students should go for these activities, so that you will get good number of marks. As per the latest benchmarks mentioned by the NAAC, maybe that will be applicable from 1st of January. Minimum 35% of students will be counted for highest marks. So now, while for counting number of students, again, if one student is doing a project work, same student is doing field work, and same student is also engaged in internship in one academic year, then the student will be counted as only one student. So one student will be counted once only for this question, even if the student is engaged in multiple activities. So be careful, all of your students, and try to engage maximum of your students in these activities to get maximum marks for this particular question. Now, the last key indicator is related to feedback system. Now, whenever we conduct any activity, we need to take feedback. Feedback is for improvement. So when we take the feedback, definitely we get some knowledge about whether whatever we have given to the students, whatever we have provided to the stakeholders, whether it is accepted by them, or there is some more expectation from these stakeholders. So we need to take some feedback. Now, in the previous activity, the feedback was only related to curriculum. And now in the latest framework, they are also asking about the academic performance as well as the ambience of the institution. So the institution obtains feedback on academic performance and ambience of the institution from various stakeholders. Now they are mentioning about the 4 stakeholders of this institution: students, that means your current teachers, your own teachers; employers means the employers of your passed out alumni, your graduates, those who employ your students, not your own employers. That means I am working in modern college, so my employer is the society which runs my college. That is not the required feedback in this particular indicator. The feedback from employers is where my students are going to go after the graduation is completed, and they are working over there. So those employers will give feedback. That means whether they will comment whether my end product, my students are ready for the industry or they need some more skills. So they are the best judge to give a feedback on the curriculum. So they may provide good feedback that your curriculum gives the information about these many things. You provide them these many aspects, but they are lacking in maybe communication skills. They don't have practical knowledge. They don't have so and so type of knowledge. So that type of feedback will be received from those employers. Therefore, the feedback from employers is important. And at the same time, feedback from alumni is also important. Because when the students get their graduation, complete their graduation, and they go for further studies or go for some employment or self-employment, they may find some things, some hurdles, there may be some problematic situations, some hurdles, some difficult situations that they need to tackle with. So they may provide that, okay, these were the difficulties that I have faced. So if I give that feedback and my institution, my faculty members, my teachers will give that additional input to the current students, at least they will their journey will be more smooth in the career process. So the feedback from students, teachers, employers and alumni should be taken for the academic performance as well as for the ambience of the institution. Now again, from how many students, how many teachers, employers and how many alumni the feedback should be taken, that there is no such type of compulsion, but it is better to get maximum number of feedbacks so that your analysis will be fruitful. You will get fruitful information from if you collect the feedback from maximum number of stakeholders. Now, once you collect the feedback, it needs to be analyzed, it needs to be checked. Once the analysis is done, you have to classify the information which you have collected, analyze the information, and then you have to take some remedial actions, or action should be taken on that feedback. Maybe you will receive some suggestions from students, some teachers, some employers, some alumni, that these things need to be added, need to be provided to the students so that they will be, it will be even, students will be more competent. Your end product will be more globally competent. They will get more information. They will be more successful. What requirement is that the feedback, once it is collected, analyzed, and action should be taken on the basis of the recommendations received from various stakeholders. The first thing you need to do is you need to communicate to the board of study members of your affiliating university that these are the points that needs to be added in the existing curriculum. Now we know that the affiliating university is going to change their curriculum maybe after 3, 4 or 5 years. They are not going to, once you send them the feedback, or these are the feedbacks received from various stakeholders, so please add these, at least these things in the curriculum. They are not going to implement it immediately. They will take your suggestion and they may provide you that, okay, we will consider it whenever we are going to redesign the curriculum. But that process may take place after 3, 4, 5 years. So are we going to stop over there? No, not at all. What we need to do is we need to plan for those things that we have communicated to the BOS members. Those things, for each of these type of suggestions, you can plan your own add-on or certificate or value-added programs, so that you can claim the maximum number of add-on programs in the previous question as well. Whenever they are asking about what are the different add-on and certificate programs, how many add-on and certificate programs are offered in 2.2.1 and 2.2.2. So we can increase the number of add-on and certificate programs or value-added programs over there on the basis of this feedback. At the same time, action taken report, you can create the action taken report. We have communicated it to the BOS members and they have promised us to take the cognizance of that feedback at the time of the next curriculum designing. But till then, maybe 2 or 3 batches are going to pass out from our institution. So for them, we have given these add-on programs so that our current students will be benefited with these advanced type of technologies, advanced techniques, and they will be industry ready. So if you take this type of step, you will get also in number of add-on programs for 2.2.1 and 2.2.2. At the same time, you will have something to say in this action taken report. And at the same time, whenever you take this action on the feedback, you need to prepare a report of the action taken on the feedback, and it should be made available on your institutional website, so that the stakeholders, those who have given you feedback, they will come to know about, yes, I have given the feedback and the institution has taken some action on that feedback. So they will feel Good. Yes, my feedback is not just a piece of paper. It is not just a formality. Institution has taken cognizance of my feedback, my opinion. So it should be available on the website for all stakeholders. So when the feedback is taken, analyzed, and action taken, the report is made available on the website, you will get full marks for this question. So it is required that the feedback should be available. The analysis of the feedback and action taken report should be available on the institutional website. Now, the thing is that here DVV may ask for certain field feedback forms, certain field feedback forms. So the filled-in feedback forms, maybe 3 to 4 filled-in feedback forms should be. Whenever the DVV is going to ask for these feedback forms, you may provide, and you can. But the DVV will require filled feedback forms. They will not require all feedback forms, but at least few feedback forms they will ask for. So you may be ready with those so that you can provide it. I think I have explained each and every question with the possibility of the document that we can upload. At the same time, I have also answered some normally asked questions, frequently asked questions in my delivery itself. But still, if you need to clarify, even in some other situations, you are free to ask the questions. Over to you.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Yes, this is Dr. Jaychandra from Lerido College, Madurai. So I have one doubt that for value-added courses, how the title should be. Actually, we are offering so many training program for more than 30 hours after the curriculum. That is, except our curriculum, we are offering more training program also. Shall we consider that training program under this value-added courses? Actually, it is also adding the value to the students. Apart from the curriculum, we are doing that one. So shall we include that as a value-added course or not?
Definitely you can. If that program is not claimed in any other criteria for any other metric.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Repetition will not be allowed. They will not. You will not be able to claim the same thing in different criteria.
Okay, okay. I have a doubt that whether shall we have the title as training on recent trends in information technology. Just so we have given title like that. So we got confused with that whether shall we include this under this 1.3.2 or we have to include in some other criteria. So that's why I'm asking you. See,
once you conduct all those programs, you just count the number of programs you have conducted. And maybe in some situations, what happens is that for 1.2.2, if you have more than 30-40 programs in last 5 years, one or two you can consider it for criteria number 2 for experiential learning activities. Okay, because what is required is we need to claim or we need to gather marks for each and every criteria. So now it's your count. You have to take a count. You have to discuss in your IQAC or with your management that, okay, we have sufficient number of programs in this particular criteria. So let us count these 3 programs in the other thing so that at least maybe particular key indicator, some less number of programs are there. So let us count these over there. You can bifurcate, but don't count it continuously in both the things.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Actually,
shall I add on
we
to this, Shah, sir? Shall I add on to this, Shah, sir?
You are welcome, madam.
With your permission.
Welcome.
Shah, sir. Yes.
Welcome, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Actually,
madam was telling, I understood your question as you said you are doing many training programs, which is 30 hours and above. and
Yes,
you
sir.
want to add that as an value added course, and the heading of that particular course is involving as training on these things. The word
Yes.
training is coming there, so
Yes,
you
ma'am. Yes.
can add this training word in criteria 1 or no, is your question. I'm right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Great. What Shah sir has told you that you have to bifurcate all the courses what you have done, and you should decide where which course will go. That is one point. Second point is, when you are thinking about value added courses or in a criteria 1 you want to give, you cannot give a word called training, because this
Okay.
trainings will come under criteria 6.
6.
That is how
Yes.
you have to understand yourself that which course you can put it where. Some
Yes.
trainings will come in criteria 3 if your trainings are related to research, and if your trainings are related to IPR, it will come in criteria 3. If your
Correct.
trainings are related to academics, then it will come in academics means
1.
teaching
1.
methodologies or
Criteria 1.
documentation work or something related to faculty development. Those will come in criteria 6. If your trainings are specifically for the students and it is going to help a student to learn a skill for the given subject. For example, you will be having a subject called ethics, and
Yes.
you are giving some training on ethics to the
Yes.
students. That is
Okay.
going to add an value to the student. That will come in criteria 1.
1.
Correct.
Okay.
Getting my
Yeah.
point?
Yes.
Or
Yes,
else
ma'am.
you have to have a course which has to add an value for a student on extended topic of the topics what they are studying in their syllabus,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
right?
At the same
Such courses only will come in criteria 1,
Okay, ma'am. One
whereas
more
other
doubt.
courses will not come in criteria 1.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more doubt. Shall we offer value-added courses through online? Shall we ask our students to take any online course
That
apart
you
from the
can do.
curriculum?
Yes, yes, that
Shall
that will also be counted.
Yes,
Now
that
they have
can be.
added it.
Yes,
Now they are started counting the Swayam and MOOCs courses as well.
yes,
Yeah,
Previously,
exactly.
it was not there in the
Yes,
courses.
previously it was not there, now it is there.
Now it is
Yes,
there.
yes.
now it is there.
I think
Oh,
Sweta madam has raised her hand.
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweta madam. Yes, Murli sir.
Sir, it was a wonderful session.
Thank
I have
you.
a clarification on this 1.3.2 regarding that project work, internship, all that. See, students of second year are doing, submitting a report. Since they select a topic on environmental studies, it is mandatory for them to submit.
Yes.
Can we consider this under this criteria?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay, in that case, we will have a good number. All the maybe around 2,000.
All second year students will be counted over there for
Yeah,
the. If you
yes,
get a project, if you tell them to submit a project on any particular
yes,
topic of environment, you can count it.
of course. Okay, right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, myself Satya
Huh?
from Adiprashakti College of Pharmacy. I have a doubt regarding geo-tagged photos, sir. So we are using some mobile apps, GPS map camera, something like that.
Okay.
Is NAAC providing any specialized application for taking geo-tagged photos, sir? And what is the necessary for geo-tagged photos, sir? And one more doubt, sir. For criterion 7, for green audit, an example for green audit are energy conservation techniques, water conservation techniques. We have a pond. While taking geotagged photos for every year, only the date and time is going to be changed, sir. The part will be as such, sir. So what is the what is the document or documental evidence has
Okay.
to be maintained in case of geotagging photos, sir?
Yes. The first thing is that there is no specific geotagging application which is recommended by NAAC. You can
Thank you, sir.
download any application from the Play Store which you are comfortable with, and you can have the geotag photos with that particular camera as well.
Okay, sir.
The requirement is that whenever the properties of that particular photo is checked, it should reflect the latitude, longitude, the date and time when the photo was clicked. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And all the participants are requested to join us at 2 p.m. after an half an hour break for lunch. Thank you.